game not over till it's 0-0 on the clock. I don't like how things went to going towards the end. I felt like we should have put more points on the board. We should have just put the gas on the pedal when we was up 28-6. But we got dubbed, man. We just going to regroup Tuesday.
How frustrating is it to continue to start slow?
Yeah, very frustrating, especially when you're playing a quarterback like that on that side, an offense that powerful, explosive. You just can't do it. Honestly, just talking to some of the defensive guys, we got to look in the mirror, us offense first, and we got to help them. I mean, I know their standard, and they don't want to allow 28 points, but 28 points against an MVP player, an offense like that, it's a game that we've got to go score 30 in.
Okay, so Dak's saying all the right things, and as you pointed out, he looked great toward the end. They just kind of got going a little too late. But are you concerned about the Cowboys right now?
Jay, concerned? I'm in full-blown panic mode. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 12. And it has nothing to do with Dak. It has nothing really to do with the offense in general. But in this league, if you cannot stop the run, you cannot win football games. And what scares me for the Cowboys is that last week against the Saints, they gave up 190 rush yards. So you would think that Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, the entire defensive staff would be preaching, hey, we got Lamar coming to town. We got Derrick Henry. We got the Baltimore Ravens, who we all know want to run the football. It is all hands on deck. We got to be locked in, extra meetings, gap integrity. Hey, this is how we're going to stop this run game. The Ravens came into Dallas and ran for a team total of 274 yards. Mm-hmm. Jay, in this league, the general rule is that you want to keep teams under 100. If a team runs for 130 against you, it's like, oh, man, we got to clean that up.
Right.
If a team runs for 190 the week before, it's panic. No way can you follow that up with a 274. I mean, those numbers they're absurd, especially in this league. And what scares me is that it puts so much pressure on Dak Prescott in this offense and CeeDee Lamb. And how can you expect them to play, which they still did, but the margin of error is zero, because even if you do score, the other team's going to chew up so much time, run right down the field, and you're still chasing points the entire game. If it's not for Dak Prescott, this is a huge blowout again. So I am very panicked because 274, coming off a week where he gave up 190, it's the number one thing defenses need to do is stop the run, and seemingly they have a very big problem.
And they have the Giants coming up on Thursday night. They got a short week, so if they can't solve the problem against the New York Giants,
then
right?
and
I
have no faith. I'm not saying they're going to lose to the Giants. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's not like, at the beginning of the year, you'd think, hey, the Cowboys are going to come in on this Thursday, take care of business. It's the Giants.
Yeah.
Well, when your run defense is this bad, there is no game on your schedule where you can check off, hey, we're going to win this 100%.
What about the Ravens? And Lamar alluded to it. He wasn't that thrilled, even though they finally got their first win of the season, because they let the Cowboys back into it just as they let the Raiders back into it last week.
That's what's scary. Now, I think there's a bit of a difference. Last week, they let Gardner Minshew back into it.
Right.
And like I said, Dak is obviously on a different level than that. Mm-hmm. But last week, you give up a 10-point fourth-quarter lead to lose. And at one point in this game, you're up 28-6. And this thing comes down to an onside kick, and you had a third down that Lamar had to throw to keep the game on the line. It is a bit scary, and especially, in that division that they have, you kind of want a defense, and what we're used to seeing in Baltimore is a defense that doesn't really break like this. Usually, once you get a lead, they're going to stomp you out. So I think Lamar's got a right to be worried. Offensively, they obviously would have liked to close it out on their end. But defensively, you cannot let the Cowboys come back in this game.
Ed Reed wouldn't have stood for this.
No, Ray Lewis.
They would not have stood for this.